Welcome back to another Old World Fanatics video. We're finally getting something out. Andrew and Gomo here. We've got a new FAQ and errata drop from Games Workshop. Andrew, mate, how are you?
Breaking news.
Breaking. I'll have to put that on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Probably there's already a heap of videos going out about this because obviously there's a few changes, but we need to get our Old World Fanatics take on it, don't you think? So
Yes.
you're obviously hobbying, trying to smash it out for a tournament this weekend.
Yeah. I was continuing on with the Wyvern, trying to get him done.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll get into it. There's obviously the Warhammer rulebook and the FAQs for Force of Fantasy and Ravening Hordes. We'll just go through the changes because I mean everyone's as I said, there's heaps in here, but
couple of big changes, but yeah, a lot of it's just like the crossing the I's and crossing the I's, dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Yeah. Well, with Games
as it usually is,
it's probably right.
Yeah.
So we are up to 1.3. So what is it? The updated entries are blue, new entries are red. Kind of, I guess that's a color. I always get a bit confused with that. Red feels to me like it should be a redaction and green should be new, but I guess green doesn't come off very good as a as a color issue. So that could be something to do with that. So no changes on the first one. Well, the second page we get Crunch here, which is the Cannonball. Change. So this is new. If the path of the Cannonball meets a hill, impassable terrain or high linear obstacle, it stops immediately. No further models are hit. So that, I guess, is preventing the inadvertent shoot over something. So if you roll 10 or 8 or something on that first dice, it's still going to get stopped. Is that how you read that?
Yeah. I didn't like the wording of this particularly. But yeah, I would have thought it would have been models behind or something like that. Because to me, it's
can't get hit by it, so you mean?
Yeah. Rather than, so it's almost like it stops on a hill, so you're not ever going to get a bounce, or like in a forest or something like that. It's like, or woods, sorry. It sort of stops. You're not going to get the bounce.
Yeah.
I don't like the wording.
Am I being pedantic in that if you put your cannonball on a hill and then you shoot, it immediately stops because it's now met a hill?
Exactly.
Or if you is it the dwarves and or the Empire now can like put their cannons behind a linear obstacle thing? Does that then stop as well?
Oh. Yeah, right.
That's obviously that's not how it's probably.
No. Yeah, well,
I think we know what it's trying to do, but yeah, I'm probably totally wrong.
I think we know what it's trying to do, but like from your point of view, if you shoot a cannonball and it hits a hill, models on a hill, what's your interpretation of that?
That's very true. I don't know.
Is it going to go?
Might have to.
The models?
To be honest, we probably should have brought up the rule book as well then, because maybe you need to look at it in context there, because it is the second paragraph. I can't believe we're getting stuck on the first one, but anyway, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I've heard people.
My rule book's downloading.
I've seen people talking about this already on how.
Okay, right. So it is. There is a weird wording, is there? Okay. Sorry, my rule book's just downloading.
To me, it just seems like it's just hits the hill or hits the.
Why can't they just write stuff clear then? That's ridiculous. It's just not that hard.
You
could say something like you can't shoot through it. I don't know. Yeah, this is the thing. The diagram would help.
But yeah, there's people coming out with all sorts of, just like in the feeds from like the different chats I'm in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry, the rule book is still coming, so maybe we'll have a look if it downloads finally. The Berserker Blade changed the weapon profile. Should have it up because I don't even know what it is. Berserker Blade combat, strength +1, no AP, extra attacks +1, impetuous, magical attacks. The world of the Berserker Blade is impetuous, so basically giving you impetuous. I mean, sorry, I really should have had the old world book downloaded here. What was it before?
Did I have impetuous? on there?
No, well, it seems like it
I
wouldn't
think
have.
that's the new bit.
Right, okay.
I believe.
We're really good here. I should have really prepped for that.
Yeah, we should.
So
Oh,
now
well,
I
I've
am
got it
scrambling
here.
to get...
I
Oh,
do
okay,
have it.
right here. Cool.
Let me get out
So I'm
my
just getting the old world rules up instead because that's a bit easier.
magic items.
Berserker.
Where's the
Never
Berserker
cut some of this
blade?
out. I won't. It is. Here we go. I've got it here. It's just frenzy magical attacks. So they've switched in.
Impetuous.
Oh God, they've changed a few things with it actually.
Mm.
Because now it is. It used to be frenzy magical attacks, unless this was changing a. It was changed in a previous FAQ.
Yeah.
Something tells me it did give you extra attacks in an earlier FAQ because in the actual book it doesn't, or maybe it was taken out.
Yeah.
So they're giving you an extra attacks, but impetuous and not frenzy.
Which is pretty good.
Slightly making it potentially useful, or
it's only 20 points. So.
But yeah, interesting. Okay, well that's that one. Now I've totally lost my screen here. Is that it for what's that? That's erratas, is it? Errata. So now we're going to frequently asked questions. Cool. So if a special natural roll triggers an effect, is that effect still triggered if the dice is re-rolled and the re-roll gives a different result? No. When you re-roll the dice, the previous roll is discarded. This includes any effects that may roll. Yeah, I mean, pretty silly. But the only thing is obviously taking into account there is exceptions. Like, like if you roll a miscast and it specifically tells you that your ability doesn't stop a miscast, even if you are re-rolling. So there's some still exceptions to that. But yeah, in general, makes sense. Do you want to do one for one? So you do the next one?
Oh, no, you can go through them all. That's fine. And I can just get the trusty rulebook up if we need it.
Okay, no worries. Casting the same enchantment or hex spells on a unit more than once has no further effect, but what about spells with a range of self that affect all units within a certain, so sort of auras, unless stated otherwise, such spells are not cumulative and cast them multiple times will have no further effect. So if you have multiple wizards with self spells of the same type, you can't bubble the auras. Oh yeah, I like that. That's good. I think your Chaos Dwarf one is related to that with that -1 aura. You could have had multiple wizards up with that guy, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it stops that. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure people do it,
Yeah. I wonder too if that basically nerfs the casket without having to nerf it specifically. You know how like they said the -1 didn't take into effect, but now that sort of effectively fixes things like that as well because they're both self and they both can't bubble.
Can't accumulate,
at least onto a particular unit, which is good. To see if there's anything in that left column. No. If a unit will have to wheel before or during a charge, do I have to allow for that when declaring and measuring? Yes, you do. Yeah, of course. That wasn't it in the rule book that way? I don't know. Obviously not for the free wheel, but
yeah.
That's why we always whinge about it because it's annoying to measure. But anyway,
it is so shit.
Nothing on the left column. We're into combat. Is that right? Yep. Combat here says models that are in base contact with different enemy units can choose which to attack. When is this decision made, at the start or when the model's turn to fight comes? And that's when the model's turn to fight comes. Okay.
Yeah, at the initiative order. Yep.
I guess that's good because that way, yeah. I mean, well, I think everyone played it that way, but there must be people who said no. Like, but then, of course, if you want to attack someone and then they get killed before that, obviously you don't lose your attacks. You can,
Yeah, I'd strike at initiative order. You're like, what are you doing at that step?
Yeah. My unit charges an enemy unit that's defending a low linear obstacle, making base contact with the obstacle rather than the unit. Can my unit make impact hits or stomp attacks? No, models must be in base contact with the enemy to make impact hits or stomp attacks. I like this. I know it's going to open up some can of worms, I think, but
it will.
Let's get better scenery on the board because I think that gives you a reason to get behind these things for bloody sure. Now, the question is, there is some magic items, spells that give you that you are like defending a low linear. How it says that. But then this is specifically saying, no, you need to be in base contact. So, like, what do you think that means? Does that mean, is it the earthen ramparts? Like, is that?
Because there's nothing really there, is there? You're just treating
so
it
you would
like
be in. Yeah, so I was just wondering. I think it'd be great if they were specific and said, like all the time when you're defending an obstacle, it's got nothing technically to do with base contact. Because I think base contact's a bit weird too. Because like, what about when, like you go, oh, well, when I'm challenging you, my stomp attacks go against that, but I'm not actually in base contact because I haven't moved the figures. Like, I think there's a bit. So I'm just looking up earthen ramparts on my other screen here when it says, and counts as being behind a defended low linear obstacle if charged. So there's an example where now it's up to debate whether or not, because sometimes you wonder is this flavor text? Models must be in base contact, or is it? I mean, rules is written. You need a piece of plastic between you or scenery.
Like
so I guess that's what
a
it is.
Physical piece of terrain or something.
Yeah, but I really hope that means more people bring them and they're around the battlefield, because how cool would it be to like try to get to those areas to sort of stop some of them potentially.
It's real strange with these rules, like almost like they don't have a round table of people that play the game regularly and sort of vet these rules sometimes, because you can see you got the rules and straight away there's questions on
you know what? I mean, again, it actually wouldn't be that hard to do. So I don't know why they do it. Well, I think they'd be better off just publishing it and saying, this is not official. It's going to become official in 7 days or 2 weeks. Send us your feedback. We're going to listen. And then we'll just correct it and send to the official one. Just do that.
We'll troll through the 8 gazillion emails.
Well, yeah, they could. But I mean, at the end of the day, at least you catch some stuff.
It would.
Like
it would.
Yeah, especially if there's AI out there, Games Workshop. Just get it to summarize it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. They can troll through the hate mail.
Yeah, exactly. Is overkill counted by or against a champion in a challenge, or does it only count for characters? That's good, because that was that weird. I can't remember if we talked about this on the pod, but I did see it in a discussion. I was going to bring it up. Did we talk about that? That there was this sort of debate starting about that characters aren't actually champions and champions aren't characters, so therefore, there's certain things they can't do in a challenge or something like that. And I was like, are you kidding? That's good. At least that's clarified. If a model has Armor Bane X listed among its special rules, i.e. like on the actual model, does it apply to impact hits or stomp attacks? Yes, which I think we knew that, but it's good to...
There has been debate because I've heard people talking about, especially with like Chaos Dwarves, you had, what are they?
Dragonogers have it too, don't they? Yeah.
So they're like, what happens with stomps? And so, people were wondering debating it. Yeah. I would have thought it does apply, but
I thought so. If it was on the actual model, not on the weapon. If a unit charged by 2 or more enemy units countercharges one of them, it may end its movement presenting a different arc. Do these units resolve their charges against those arcs? Yes. When a unit countercharges, it risks exposing its flanks or rear to the enemy. Now, I heard this is great. I love this. The thing that sucks, which we'll get into a little bit later, is I thought this might be an interesting, not counter, but sort of counter to things like peg knights and stuff. We're like, oh, cool. Now, if they countercharge me, I can maybe have someone out the side there and get them in the flank when they form up. But of course, the other FAQ in here somewhere is skirmishes never have flanks and rears. It's like, damn you.
Damn it.
But don't you reckon that's I like that. I mean, it'd be hard to pull off all the time, but I think, with fast units like other cav and all that, it probably isn't out of the question that happens.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially if you roll high and you're 4 inches forward. So, if a unit whose troop type is infantry that has been joined by a character whose troop type is cavalry charges an enemy with the countercharge special rule, can that unit countercharge? No, a unit's troop type doesn't change when joined by a character. I like that, and that's a good fact for things like chariots in the skeleton infantry and stuff like that, they definitely are being raised back at the full infantry rate, because this is saying that a unit's troop type doesn't change when joined by a character. That was one of my questions ages ago.
Okay,
so, do you know what I mean? Like if the unit's that and you put a character in it, it's still that unit type. So
so is that when your chariot gets like the full infantry?
Yeah, because you're raising more up, but then when you look at the rules for raising, the characters have to be done first and stuff. So it's a bit of a cheat. Now you argue that maybe they should FAQ that or errata that to say that's not how it works but it'd be too complex, I think, with the way they've got the ordering. How far does a model with the random movement special rule move when making counter charge? D3+1. Yep, I thought that was pretty. I can understand why people might be a bit confused with that, but hey, it is random, so yeah, that's pretty good. War beasts and swarms. Okay, I'm confused. I think I was confused about it. War beasts and swarms fear models with the flaming attack special rule. Do war beasts and swarms that have immune to psychology special rule fear models that have the flaming attack special rule? And the answer is yes. I'm confused about that. Why?
That is
why?
Because I don't know. To me, like an undead swarm or something like that. Does that mean now it's fearing something, even though it's undead?
Well, yeah. If the majority of models in a unit are immune to psych, the unit automatically passes. Okay. So they still fear them, but the unit automatically passes any fear, panic, or terror. Okay. Is that? I don't. What? So they fear them, but they automatically pass it. Is that what that means?
I don't know.
Because immune to psychology says you automatically pass fear, terror, panic tests. So I guess you still fear them, whatever that means. But yeah, anyway. Someone can, in the comments, I'm confused with that one.
Yeah, help me as well.
Yeah. If some models in a unit cause fear, but others do not. There's this. Shits me when they do this. Do I use the unit strength of the whole unit or just the models that cause fear? No, only count units strength of the models that cause fear. Like, I get that, but it starts getting a bit.
It does.
Weird.
Yeah.
So, but like if you just have I guess that's true. If you have like, one of those items that might cause fear, I don't even know if there is a sword
or a character or something.
Suddenly the whole thing is. So I get it. I get it actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably makes sense actually. Now I've reread it. What happens if a unit with move through cover special rules joined by a character? Without it, units move at the speed of the slowest model. Yeah, pretty standard. Yeah, I mean that's all pretty standard. We have a change to regen. I can't remember what this said. I do have the other FAQs here, but if the armor value of a regen save is improved by a shield, fighting or magic item, is it basically? Unless the item specifically states regen saves are improved. No, so it's just stopping that. Yeah, buffing up. It'd be interesting to see what it was saying.
It just says improves the save or something. Like it didn't state armor save.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So people were like,
that's when. Yeah. Okay. So they've good clarified that stuff. Can a model make a regen save when it loses a wound? For example, if a model loses a wound due to being unstable, can I attempt to make a save? No. If a rule states that wounds are lost, the affected model has suffered one or more unsaved wounds, as described on page 102, meaning one or more wounds are lost from its profile. Again, they just need to, in version 2, make sure, because I've seen this multiple times, but they use the word lose a wound, but they've never actually defined it too much.
Yeah.
So they just need to be a bit more clearer. Are units that deploy using the scout special rule counted when determining which player finishes deploying their army first? Yes. I think people were, some people playing this. I think majority were, but I mean, I haven't run into it too much. I'm glad it's FAQ'd.
Do you like it? I kind of don't like it.
Right.
You do like it?
Cool.
I think that scouts to me is like a special thing for having scouts. Like to me, you're sort of I think you're getting punished for taking scouts. But I mean, hey, like there's probably people out there that like it. I just thought scouts are kind of like their own little thing that you can do. Like,
I just feel like scouts and all that have that benefit. Well, if you call it a benefit or not.
Well, they do. Yeah, I suppose you're getting a benefit
doing that. So therefore, if you're deliberately going, I'm going to have low drops, get +1 to first turn, and now I can then move around and shoot you. Yeah, I think it stops that. Yeah. Plus, I do, you know, like when you've got armies where you can choose the scout or not, which I guess with scouts you can. Sometimes when you're looking at someone's list, you then don't know how many drops they've got because it's up to what they're going to do on the, which, yeah. So I sort of like that you just go, okay, that's got that many drops. Okay, bang, bang.
Yep. Yep.
When a unit, I would not be upset if it ruled the other way though. That's really bothered me. When a unit that has succumbed to stupidity moves, how far must it move? As far as the controlling player wishes, it just can't do maneuvers. So, yep, cool. I think that was alluded to when we saw it. I still think stupidity is a bit dumb in that case. I would have much preferred the whole, it just has to stumble forward D6. I think that's a bit more fun.
Yeah,
a bit more Warhammer-ish.
It's less control by the stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever.
When I move a unit that has succumbed to stupidity, can I move it into base contact? No. I mean, obviously you can't do that. When do you declare? Good, big change. When do you declare that you are using Swift Stride before making a charge, flee, or pursuit roll? Love that.
The best one.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
It's just taking out. To me, like Swift Stride, I almost think it like almost should just be used at all times. But
I mean, so too, especially for flee rules.
Flees,
right? Even pursues, like I just feel like. Yeah, the whole goal is to go as quick as you can. It's not to go, I can go quick, but I'm going to go slow. Well, then don't charge then. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it should just be all the time. Yeah, I agree. But, you know,
but this is definitely good. Yeah.
If a character without the Vanguard special rule joins a unit with it during deployment, can the character make a Vanguard move with the unit? No. What's more, if the unit is formed, it will not be able to. I love how they use this word. Formed unit, is that open and closed basically? It's not, I don't think that's defined anywhere. It will not be able to make a Vanguard move. The presence of characters without the Vanguard special rule within its ranks prevents it. However, if the unit is in skirmish formation, it can make its Vanguard move as normal, leaving the character behind. It's good that it's done like that. I just feel like, I don't know, unless I'm missing something, they're coming up with nomenclature here. Is that even in the rulebook about a formed unit? Maybe it is. Oh, right.
Yeah. I just find it weird, like if you're in a scam, because you're going to know beforehand if you can Vanguard or not, because the character has or doesn't have Vanguard. So I don't know why you have to be in a skirmish formation and leave old mate. Like to me,
I guess it's depend on what other people might have done. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It does. There is the thing called forming units. I guess so. Models makeup must be formed into units. So maybe there's something in the skirmish section talking about, because it does talk about formed units charging, which of any type, be it close, open, etc., charge a unit of skirmishers. So I guess formed is, there we go, ripping them off, and they actually got it right. So they actually do define it in some sense, which is good. Where were we? And there, man, there's a lot in here. How does a unit of skirmishers form up when charged by two or more different enemy units from different directions? The skirmishers should form up against the first charging unit to move into contact with them. So I guess even though it's all simultaneously, as a charging player, you get to control that. The remaining enemy units then charge the formed skirmishers. If any unit are unable to complete their charge moves, their charges are failed. I guess I would also argue that, the first one hits, skirmishers form. If they can't fully form up, those ones die, and then the second ones make contact. Is that how it works?
Yeah, well, you get the cohesion. So, that I'm guessing that's right, the way you're saying it. If you can't cohesively
form
get
up.
that punch, the form up,
Do skirmishers have flank or rear arcs while engaging combat? No. Okay, so that was good to know because I think that was... But I can't remember. What did we play with that you get flank bonuses? I think we were. Maybe we're like, I don't know. But
I'd like to think you would get flank bonuses because skirmishers seem to have so many
benefits,
buffs, benefits about them.
Especially because there's powerful skirmishers. If there wasn't, you wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just you're giving a skirmish more bonuses.
Yeah. This is good how it's been sort of corrected and stuff. But anyway, if a unit that is subject to any leadership modifiers uses the general inspiring presence rule or any other rule that allows a unit to use the leadership of a nearby character, does the unit ignore these modifiers? No, the modifier will still apply. So basically what this is saying is you put the modifiers aside, you decide which leadership you're going to take, inspiring presence, something else, a unit champ, whatever, and then you put the modifiers on place. Yeah, you can't. I like that because that was stupid when you're like, oh, I'm really scared, but my general's not, so I get his full leadership. Like that's just dumb. Yeah, so that's good that they've done that. Which I thought they had. This is a modification, so I think they just cleared it up.
Yeah.
Clumsy unit cannot be joined by a character that is not also clumsy, but a clumsy character can join a unit that is clumsy, basically, isn't clumsy. So, like, you can put a champ, you can put like, chariots in, what's it call it? Like a light chariot, because it doesn't have those wheel things, isn't it? It's just clumsy. Like monstrous infantry could join, a monstrous infantry character can join a unit of infantry, for example, that sort of stuff. It's fine. Does a unit that is joined by a character of a different troop type gain the rules associated with that character's troop type? Nope. Cool. Again, I think I don't know why that's up for debate, but that's cool. Weapons, nothing there. Oh, hang on. This is similar to the other regen. Is the armor value of a ward save improved by a shield, barding, or magic item that improves armor unless the item specifically states ward saves are improved? It's not. So no. This is cool. What do we got here? Okay, yeah, this one's sort of a bit of a nerf or whatever. How does the Spectral Doppelganger spell interact with weapons that either have strike first or strike last? The spell is cast at the wizard's initiative, meaning attacks generated by the spell are made at the wizard's initiative. However, if the casting wizard wishes to use a weapon with the strike last special rule, these attacks are made at initiative 1. So, like...
your great weapons, etc.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. Bearing 2 or more obsidian lodestones gives better magic resistance. Does this stack with other sources, basically? And the answer is no. So you can only really stack the obsidian lodestones. Yep. A lot of the time that doesn't... There must be some cases where you thought that might be possible, but I know with all the magic res ones I've seen, they sort of mention that it can't be stacked. It's not cumulative with other MR. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the community, at least around here, seem to do it. From what I've seen. So, yeah.
Does magic standard that affect unit weapons, like the Razor standard, also make those weapons magical, giving them magical attacks? And the answer is no, unless it's, like, again, specific, unless it in question states that the weapons of a unit carrying it gain the magic attack special rules. Yeah, so, like, magical things are not magical attacks, basically. Just fine. Which, is easy to see generally because that's why you have magic weapons that actually say on their profile magical attacks. So,
yeah.
And this is good because this is what came up in our podcast with one of the characters. If a wizard wears the wizardry hat, does it increase their level of wizardry? And no, it's a level 1 and knows 1 randomly generated spell. This is clearly a huge detriment to a powerful wizard, but might be a boon to any character that is not a wizard. So, yeah.
It's such a good comment.
Like yeah.
In there, and it just plays off who was it?
I can't remember his name now.
Is that Ted?
Tom, Ted something. Yeah.
Yeah.
On this high elf level 4.
Just plays off what he was saying. I loved his little comment in there, his little narrative. It was so cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I think with the stupidity rule not being overly crazy, if you have high leadership or something.
Yeah.
Can you reroll stupidity with veteran?
Ooh.
Because it's a leadership test, is it or not? I can't remember. But...
Yeah, I'd have to read it. I mean, like if the rule's saying it is a leadership test and you can re-roll a leadership test, then I'd say yes.
How much is the chaos? Here, I'm just going on a rant here, but how much is that new chaos item that gives you the demonology summoning spell out of the Arcane Journal? It wouldn't be 40 points, but it'd be up there, wouldn't it? Like 35, something like
that. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm...
Sometimes I think it might be interesting to take the wizardry hat more and just make yourself stupid, but get access to another magic missile.
Oh, it's a stupidity test. So
that's not a leadership
stupidity test. Test against the unit's leadership characteristic.
Yeah, okay. So does that mean veteran? Because doesn't veteran give you re-rolls against leadership?
But it doesn't call it a leadership test. It just says to make a stupidity test. So for me, I'd be calling that a separate sort of test. So unless engaged in combat, the special rule makes a stupidity in brackets test during the start of turn subphase to make a stupidity test against the unit's leadership characteristic. So it doesn't call it a leadership test as such.
But it says leadership tests are at various times a model or unit must be called upon to make a leadership test or to otherwise test against leadership in some way.
Yep.
That's leadership tests. And then veteran says you may re-roll a failed leadership test. So I don't know.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
I was just thinking,
Yeah, right.
I'm just wondering if the wizard hats should be taken a little more. I guess that's what we're talking about in the podcast.
Yeah.
Just for, I mean, it's 40, it's slightly
segue.
overpriced and does have that downside. But, you know, there's some armies that struggle to get, you know, don't have access to dark and would like an extra magic missile. Sometimes you think, oh, fuck it, I'll just put it in there.
Yeah, right. Well, I think you're right there, because then if the leadership test is saying something tests against somebody's leadership makes a leadership test, then yes, I'd agree.
Can a wizard with lore familiar choose one of the faction signature spells instead of the signature spell of their chosen lore? And it says no. So you have to pick. So if you've got like I take elementalism a lot. I basically can't drop to
the signature off your race. Yeah.
Which I think people were saying that. I don't think we ended up. A lot of people didn't play it that way, but like I think it's fine, and I think lore for me is an auto include, so I think it's not a bad bad nerf to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because you're in the lore. That's it. That lore is your chosen lore. You can't get anything else, even racial.
Yep. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Some models can be found in one faction's army list. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to read all this, but it basically says like if you take Dragon Ogres, you purchase models, magic items from the Dragon Ogre. Dragon Ogre, the Beastman. So it's like the Chaos Dwarves taking Black Orcs. They get to use the Black Orc, the Orc magic items and stuff like that. I don't think I'd say it'd be interesting, but it'd be a bit of a nerf if they actually just said it's got to be out of the main books and not the Arcane Journals.
Yeah.
Well, they can be in the normal Ravening Hordes and all that, but not like the Arcane Journals. So that way they can balance it a bit down the track and go, well, I'm going to add some cool stuff to like the Orc and Goblin Arcane Journal #2, but like Black Chaos Dwarves won't get it. You know, that'd probably be interesting, but that's cool. Yeah, well, the two big ones, man, for sure is the this one, I reckon, Swift Stride and the Skirmishers don't get ranks. Was there another big one in here? If you can remember.
No, they were my big ones.
I do like the this counter charge one as well, that you can potentially declare a charge against someone and then end up getting their flank. I like that. Yeah. I think there might be some play in that for people who know how to play. Cool. So let me then open up the Ravening Hordes, or you want to do Forces of Fantasy? Let's finish with
the world is your oyster, Gomo. You can choose.
Finish with Forces of Fantasy. There might be some more.
Oh, there's some good stuff in there. There's some.
I'll bring up the
good stuff
Ravening
for some
Hordes.
It's a detriment for others.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Ravening Hordes 1.2, same sort of deal here, guys. Ed button is add the following to the beginning of the rule, 0 to 1 per model. It was a common item, so you could stack it. I think you could get up to 5 or 6 on, and I think people were joking that they modeled like 6 hats on a person.
6 hats, still.
So yeah, I like that, but I understand that's fair enough.
That is.
Arcane Journal. Warriors of Chaos, change the base size to 50 by 50 for Skinwolves. Under options, change Skinwolf Jarl to Skinwolf Jarl is a champion, and then add Fear to the Skinwolves list of special rules. So I haven't played with these guys, but yeah, I heard that the box came with 50 by 50, but the book said 40 or something. So that's good.
All these poor guys remodeling that are playing this week or rebasing. There's quite a few Skinwolves out there.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, they're a decent unit.
And they also add Close Order to the Warpfight Dragons list, a special rule, which that sounds like that was just just missed, obviously. So that's fair enough. It's a dragon. Now this has clarified this, which I thought this was what was happening, but I can't remember, is how victory points for Night Goblins calculated. So basically what it is you need to kill like the unit to get the points for the VP, for the Fanatics. Now, the only thing I wasn't sure about, and even with this FAQ, is if you kill the whole unit and the Fanatics haven't died yet, do you still get the whole thing, don't you? Or do you have to kill the Fanatics? The Fanatics have to die as well. Is that right?
I would say the unit.
So Fanatics
if
are an
Fanatics
upgrade
are released
for the unit.
and you kill the unit, to me, that's part of that.
You get the
unit.
whole thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So basically Fanatics, their upgrade, their cost is included when working out VP. Oh, for the unit itself. In other words, the death of an individual Fanatic's not worth any VP, but destroying the unit. Yeah, okay, no, that's right. It's clarified it that way. So basically, pretend they're little 0 VP things flying around everywhere, and you have to just take out the unit to get them. Yeah. So like if there's one, okay, that's fine. Don't need to keep harping, so that's cool. Oh, this is good. And I missed this really, and I don't think I've played it this way, man, is I've upgraded unit of Ball Boys to Biggins. Do their War Balls benefit as well? Yeah, because it's on the actual model. So yes, so they go to strength 4 and then strength 5 on the charge, I believe.
Yeah, that's
for the
really
balls. Good. Yeah. Now their impact hits. That impact is made using the model's unmodified strength. So if you're in the nomadic war, your impact hits are still at the normal war boar's unmodified strength, which means you're not even getting the war boar's Tusker charge on the impact hits. Is that right? So it's just strength 3. I think they're strength 3 anyway. Might be wrong there, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's good. I'll have to remember that one because I've got Biggins. I take Biggin Ball Boys a bit, so to remember that's how it's played. And can the glowy green amulet be used by a character that isn't a wizard? Yeah, I knew that. I was actually close to bringing this on my Night Goblins, to be honest. But yeah, it's just the way it's worded. It seems to imply that it's only a wizard, but it's not. So that's a automatic 2-up dispel. Unless you roll a 1, I think it blows up or whatever. The only weird thing is they've said this, however, if they wish to use it against an enemy spell, they do so instead of a wizardry dispel attempt being made. This means that you cannot also attempt a wizardry dispel against a spell you use the glowy green amulet against, even if the glowy green amulet explodes. So, because you don't get to dispel something twice. So this is a dispel, even though it's not a wizard doing it or whatever. Which is fine. Can the size of the range self spells aura effect be increased by the idol of Gork? No, the aura effect of self. I mean, there's a bunch that you could FAQ there then. Like, you can't, yes. Auras self spells don't have a range, so if something says increases its range by 3 inches, well, it's still self, so makes sense. Arcane Warriors. What happens if I wish Arcane Journal? Warriors of Chaos. What happens if I wish to accept a challenge to fight a Warriors duel, but do not have any single wound champions in my army? Then you just roll off as normal. Cool.
Yeah, right.
And when fighting a Warriors duel challenge between 2 unit champs, are such things as magic standards carried by their units counted? No, the duel is between 2 champions alone without any support from their unit, which, that's cool.
Yep, that is cool.
I think that was a bit debatable, yeah. Because in a normal challenge, they would, but this is not a normal challenge.
No,
it's a Warriors duel. Blood Greed, Beastman Brayherds. Does a unit with the Blood Greed special rule always roll only a single d6 when making a pursuit roll, or only whilst frenzied? So only whilst frenzied. Cool. I haven't really. I know we did the Beastman review ages ago, but can't really remember where that might have been contentious or not. Oh, this is funny because I remember we've had these discussions. I don't know if we agree with this either, but can a Casket of Souls, this under Tomb Kings, move at the end of the shooting phase of its turn using reserve move? Because obviously there's that bubble spell. Yes, whilst the Casket of Souls is an immovable object, this special rule clearly states that it prevents the model moving during the remaining moves. It does not prevent movement at other times or during other phases. So it obviously can give ground because it said that and all that sort of stuff. I like it in the sense that, because this happened to me in one of the tournaments where you rolled up and it's off the table. And so when it comes back on in that second turn, it's sitting right on the table edge. So
right on the table edge.
Give ground, it just dies. So it is good to know you can, but at the same time, bloody hell, it's immovable. It's a bit annoying that an immovable object technically can move around. Yeah. I mean, what the hell? Anyway.
That's
it. Anything crazy in the in these ones?
I don't think crazy. No.
The Boar Boys are my winner on that one. If only because I,
Mm.
for some reason, didn't even pick up on that. Cool. Do you reckon they missed anything? Well, I'm switching screens here. Was there any in the Ravening Hordes that you think we're still wondering about?
So much stuff you can change, like through all of them. It's just, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've kind of
Sorry,
said like they
missed
don't
that.
want to change. It's weird because they're like, oh, we don't want to change power too much for like, certain things. But then it seems
Yeah.
like in Forces of Fantasy, there is at least one major change.
Here we go.
So-
Horses of Fantasy. We've got nothing. Interestingly, now I don't know, don't quote me on this, but there is no Arcane Journal Empire one on this. So I wonder, I only just started actually getting the whole Empire book, so I haven't actually fully digested to see if it actually needed an errata anywhere.
Yeah.
But if not, I wonder if it does, I wonder if this was obviously just written way before that, and hasn't even come out, which is interesting. So we have Questing Knights changed the unit size to 3+. I'm assuming they were 5. So now like the Grails, because the Grails can be 3+2, hey? So you can potentially take, I think they end up being under 100 points. Yeah, like little, I don't know how much, probably, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, 90 something points maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know if you'll see them, but they look, it might be interesting to see.
Yeah. Little
okay.
sort of flankers.
We have the big controversy, Sisters of the Thorn. Okay, the first one was a clarification, which I think is good. Monsters with this special rule have a 4+ save against any wounds suffered. So that's the Daughters of Eternity. So if you put a character in there, the model needs that, so they don't get the 4+ ward. So that's good.
Yeah. I think it's a unit or something. But yeah.
Deepwood Coven, though. A unit of Sisters of the Thorn knows a single spell randomly generated by their controlling player before armies are deployed from either the battle magic or elementalism law of magic. Ouch. So, I'll let you go. What do you think? Obviously, I don't know. Have you been destroyed by these guys yet?
I haven't been destroyed, but I have played against a unit, and obviously, it is. It's strong being able to choose whatever you want. But yeah, I haven't faced the spam. So yeah, obviously it needed something. If this was the correct way to go.
They could have changed this though to say like cross out Sisters of the Thorn from your rulebook. That's the other way they could have done it, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
no one's going to bring them.
Nah,
I'd
have to troll. Like you'd have to troll through and just work out how much they're worth. Just bringing, because it seems like there's going to be, you might just roll up on something that's completely useless. So
I'm almost feel like get rid of that top one then. Like let them be a little 4+ ward bunker for a character then, because now you're not bringing them for the other. I don't know. They've and I understand maybe trying to balance it. It might be a bit sort of over across the whole game, but I don't know. My preference still in all of this, and it's not just for Sisters of the Thorn, is just we shouldn't be able to have the same template up on the table. I reckon that just solves so many things. Like it stops, because it's not just them that, like Empire could go out and spam pillars and at least fireball and stuff potentially. I mean, I guess they can't spam it guaranteed, but I don't know. I just feel like that. Unfortunately, this is what happened. We didn't see him much in other editions. Like I think 8th, you didn't see him as much sometimes, but mainly not. And then on top of it, the thing I don't like is because the Dark Elves are not ever getting patched. They still can choose.
Yeah.
So you're getting this mishmash, and I'm concerned that, or is this another reason why I think the communities might this year we may have to get out of the worries of doing this and just come up with a proper, mostly followed if the community want errata and FAQs for the legacy factions, because I don't know, just feel like, and you could argue that maybe the Dark Elf one isn't as bad but they can sit there and just pick
Yeah, yeah,
Pick, you know, what's it called? Dark magic, or I don't know whichever one it was,
yeah.
but I don't know. It seems pretty heavy-handed, man. To like, so you've done it wrong when you've got an auto include unit, which then becomes no one takes. That means you've just nerfed it like way more than it has to be.
Yeah. No, agreed. Like, there's so many ways. Like, you could have come up, like you were saying, only have one template. You could have said you can only take one spell across the whole army for that unit.
For that unit. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if you don't want to touch templates, which I get, you could have just said they're controlled, but if you have more than one unit, they all can't pick the same one. So one has to have fireball, one has. So that's an easy way to just stop it.
Yeah. There's a myriad of ways. I mean, they could have limited even how many units you can take. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, it's
Here's what it is.
Hopefully that does get fixed, because you don't. I hate having units that nobody wants to take.
I know, that's the thing.
We'll see the fallout of this, but I mean, it'd be sad if just nobody takes them. But it just
Now they have fixed stuff before. Obviously, we do see blues, so hopefully they get some feedback from this and go, "That's a bit too hard, dudes." Change the crews. Goblin. It's Goblin Hewer in the Arcane Journal Dwarfs. Change the crew's model and tax characteristic to 2. So they say it must come with. Does it come with 2 figures, or is that how it works? I
think it comes with 2 figures. Yeah, it might have said one or something. Yeah.
Don't you? Again, I'll get off topic here, but I feel like War Machines. We're not seeing as much war. I mean, we're starting to see more, I guess, but I feel like they need a bit of a buff in combat. Like I think they're a bit too weak now. You get into combat with them and you just wipe them out, which I guess is sort of true, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's fine. But Arcane Journal, Kingdom of Bretonia, Garden of the Sacred Sites. Change the 3rd sentence of the 2nd paragraph, whatever that is does not. This part, yes, it does not include magical vortexes, open ground, or hills, or any constructions such as walls or buildings. So. That's a nerf, which is good to the Green Knight. You can't come out of vortexes. You can't come out of hills, even though some TOs have then ruled that stupidly. Don't know why you would have done that. Sorry, TOs are awesome, but still, you're dumb if you do that. You can be awesome and dumb, so it's fine. It's forests basically, but if you have water, rivers,
forest, water,
yeah.
It's really going to limit, I think. So for hills, this is the problem. Like if you only had one forest, you're really limited on where you're going to come out. Like if there's no water and there's only a single forest, you're only limited to popping out of that. But I mean, the Green Knight is a powerhouse, as we know. So I think there's issues with the Green Knight there. But yeah, I'm not. I don't play Brett.
I haven't played against him, so I'm going to get that in my first game. So do you know much about this weekend? The WhatsApp group blew up. So I would, if I was them, but I don't really care what happens. I probably wouldn't run these changes because I think that's a bit unfair that everyone submitted lists and then suddenly my triple pillar sisters are comped out of existence. I think that's a bit. So hopefully, on one hand, I'd hope they don't, but I haven't seen what the results there are. I think Starkey ruled for his tournament this weekend that they're not doing these erratas for this weekend again, which is fair enough. People have submitted lists and stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree. Once lists are submitted and published.
And most of the time, that's how it's actually written, isn't it? Like as of list submission dates, anything up to there. So it probably doesn't even need to be clarified. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if this came out just as lists are submitted, you might just say, oh, we're going to include them. But obviously, I'm sending this back and you can change your army or something like that. Or talk to the guys to see if they have the ability to change it.
Yeah.
Well, yes, come up with something, not just, It'd kind of suck if you did build something around it and then all of a sudden it's...
I'm just skimming our pack. Just seeing if it was written in here. Just off a quick skim. Don't think it's specified, so maybe we'll have to check out. I don't know if you've seen the WhatsApp group yet of what the...
I've been. It's gone
just full
wild.
up, so that's the thing. So I couldn't tell. Yeah, cool.
So many.
That's all good.
There's
We should
comments
probably do
everywhere.
this on our video. Sorry about that, guys. But
Yeah.
frequently asked questions. There seems to be more in this one. Did I miss this in the other one?
No, I think there's just not as many. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dwarven Mountain Holes has, if a musician, I mean, I'm just going to skim, I'm going to clarify something, like summarize. Basically, Giant Slayers, Troll Slayers, if the Giant Slayer is a standard guy and he gets killed, if there is a Giant Slayer in the unit, he can then pick it up. If there's no Giant Slayers, the Troll Slayer can. So basically, because there was a little bit of, weirdness around that. Also notes Giant Slayers are not unit champs, thus a unit of Slayers, the standard bearer would be the last model removed. So if you didn't have, because he's not. If a unit bearing a standard inscribed with the master in a hesitation falls back in good order and is pursued and caught by an enemy unit, does the rune take effect? Yes. I mean, that's basically the idea that fall back in good order is like you get the bonuses of charging. It's not the first round of combat, but it's declared as a charge. So you get all those charge bonuses, and charge nerfs if if the defending unit has things like that. Arcane Journal says, do runes inscribed upon the Doomseeker's whirling blades affect their impact hits? Yes, it does, because it actually says that their impact hits are caused by the whirlwind of death. Are used by their actual whirling blades of death. So you can put runes on and your impact hits get them. So they're cool little dudes. Before a steam tank charges, can it use the steam power special rule to increase how far it can move? No, it basically charges like normal with movement of 4 or whatever the hell it is. I can't remember. Which is different to your Iron Demon, isn't it?
No, I don't believe that can use it for.
So
you can roll for movement, but to me, like a charge isn't like for movement. It's just So I'd only use the movement 5 characteristic and then your 2d6 and you pick the highest.
So it is. The Iron Demon charges the same way then. It's just not, random. Yeah, cool. Okay. And then Bretonian is kind of character with Shield a Lady. Basically issue a challenge and then run back to the back of the unit and no, they can't. So fair enough. My army includes a character with the Gauntlet of the Duel and I want them to challenge a specific enemy character. Can my opponent choose a different model to accept the challenge? And it is yes. And that's standard. Challenges are just issued broadly. They're not issued to specific models. So one size says challenge, the other one can choose who. So unless there's some actual reason where you can actually snipe them out, but I'm not sure if there is. Might have been an 8th, actually. I can't remember if there was ones like that. But is a charging lance blunted if an enemy unit countercharges it? No. As both units are charging, the clause that a lance is blunted if it is charged does not countercharge is negated.
It's fair enough. Still charging.
Yeah, that's fair enough. High Elf says, does the martial prowess special rule allow models to make sporting attacks with weapons that do not have the fight in extra rank special rule? No, martial prowess grants the ability to make sporting attacks to the flank or rear as well as to its front. It does not grant the ability to make supporting attacks. I don't know why that's debatable, but anyway, maybe that's just how it was written in the book. Oh, that is it. Okay, that's it. Well, we had two big nerfs in here, which I think one's warranted. The Green Knight needed some clarification there. Sisters of the Thorn, the most controversial by far in this third or whatever set of we've got out. So, that's a bit of a shame. I mean, I haven't played much against them, so I'm not saying that. I just don't like to, I'd hate to see them never taken because I didn't see them a lot and now I feel like they're not going to be taken. Bit of a nerve, a bit too hard of a swing there, I think. But anyway, hopefully they might correct it or who knows, we'll see. Maybe there's some other things. Maybe it'll open up. I just feel like we're going to see a bunch load of Wild Riders again now, just spammed everywhere, which is fine as well.
I like my Wild Riders. They're cool.
Devil's advocate, even if that's what happens, then at least you have an engaging Wood Elf army list and not a shoot and run away. So again, I don't think you need to nerf them totally like that to stop that shoot and run away. But
yeah. No, that is true.
Yeah. Cool. they're our list, man. So is there anything else you want to cover with that? But what do you guys think? Leave some comments if we missed anything on there. I got it wrong,
definitely.
but
Comment
yeah.
away.
It was good to get an extra FAQ. I was wondering that was going to get a bit quiet. I was like, oh god, because like seemed to be they'd throw an FAQ after an Arcane Journal came up, and then we didn't get one from Chaos, and I guess we did get Empire, so we have got one now. But it doesn't include Empire, so I'm still a bit confused there. So, what do you think this means though? For we've been hearing rumors that January or Feb we're going to get like a rebalancing, even if it's a PDF. I don't think this is that. I reckon that's like no. We might get tournament guidance from whatever they're doing at Warhammer World events, but I'm not sure we are going to get anything more than this sort of stuff popped out every 3 or 4 months. At least for this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Anything you think should have been... well, actually, no, we'll cover this in a future episode, what our comp or other FAQs probably should have been to do some balancing. But that's a different topic. So
balancing it. That's that's a can of worms right there.
Yeah. Cool. But they're the new rules you're going to be playing under, guys. Probably if you're in a tournament this weekend, maybe not. But by the time you're watching this on YouTube... who knows? Hopefully it's good, and let us know what you think about these poor little sisters. It's all good. And the poor law familiar. I like the law familiar getting nerfed. I
reckon it's great.
Anything that's just auto include, how do you make it a question mark? A little bit more, not.
Just bring it back to not super OP, but it's still good. Like it's still good. It's good.
Yeah, you just got to want to take that law, which is fine. So yep.
Exactly.
I think that's good. Cool. Well, I'll close it out, guys. If you if you haven't checked out our other YouTube and other videos, we run a weekly podcast. Check that out on YouTube or on your RSS feeds. We've got a Patreon over on patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. If you want to jump on that, subscribe, all the cool stuff. Leave some comments. Keep playing some Old World and rolling some dice, man. So yeah, see you next time, Andrew.
Yeah. Thanks heaps. Catch you around.
Cheers. Bye.